Hey everyone, and welcome back to our campaign game number 3. As promised, it is going to be a kill team game, and it's going to be played between the Necrons and the Raptors stroke Raven Guard. So, mission objectives. The Raptors and Raven Guard are trying to find the location of the Necron Tomb world, and by doing so, they have deployed servo schools in the vicinity. As you can see, we've got a number of servo schools, 6 in total I believe, hanging around in different locations on this small area. And the Raptors and Raven Guard need to control at least 4 of their objectives to gain enough data from them to find out the location of the Tomb World, because these things have been scouring the area. And with these things going around, buzzing around, they have irritated the scarabs and the spider in the facility, so they're moving out to deal with this threat. So as you can see, we have 1 unit of Vanguard veterans, nicely spaced out because it is kill team, 5 scouts, and we have a biker sergeant who will be the leader for this unit. Don't know if that will work out with regards to the Vanguard veterans being vets and him only being a sergeant. We'll say he's a veteran of his own. He's got a special wingy thing on the front anyway, hasn't he? So yeah, he's the leader of this force. Scouting out, and they're going to, as mentioned, claim these objectives. So that is the victory conditions for the Raptors and Raven Guard. For the Necrons, on the other hand, it's exactly the same. Control 4 objectives, and they will claim victory for themselves. So, as you can see, these guys are pretty much just WYSIWYG, just scarabs and a spider. But over here we have 2 chain swords, 3 power swords, a heavy bolter, and he will just have a chainsword and bolt guns. And that is pretty much it. So we're not going to be doing the full 5 turns. This will only be again a 4-turn game, because we are playing kill team. It is quite a small map. We don't need 5 turns, so we probably won't even make it to 4. But anyway, we will be right back at the end of... Actually, we should roll off for this one, shouldn't we? Yeah, we should, because every other one we've decided, but this one looks pretty balanced, and I reckon a roll-off would be quite good. Okay, and roll to see who's going first then. And it is...
Me!
You want to go first then?
I do.
Go on then. So it's Raven's turn 1. Right, and we're back at the end of Raven's turn 1. So, as you can see, all the Ravens have pushed up the table. We have this chap here hanging on to the first objective, and we've got another one here hanging on to this one. We have that chap pushing up the flank, these 4 grouping in the centre. The heavy bolter took 3 shots and took a wound off one of the scarabs, and these guys pushed up and ran. So, that marks the end of their turn, and we will now move on to the Necrons' turn 1. And we're back at the end of Necron's turn 1, and the tide has moved forward. The spider first bred 1 scarab and then moved over to claim this objective. We have 3 scarabs moved on to this objective, the rest moved up the centre and have run. So, not really much happening for either side on turn 1. However, we will now be going on to Raven Guard turn 2. Can they actually kill enough of these before they actually get to close combat? We shall see. And we're back at the end of the Ravens turn 2. So they again moved and shuffled everything forward, and then did some shooting. So as you can see, where scarabs have taken quite a bit of damage, we have lost 2 scarab bases. This guy charged in and heroically cut down 1 base. This guy charged in but only managed to get 1 wound, so taking that base down to 1. So the Ravens are actually pushing forward. They currently hold 3 objectives. They only need to claim 1 more to score the victory, but likewise the scarabs are now going to swarm, and all they have to do themselves is get that objective there and that one there, and then they can score a victory. So it's quite close. We'll be right back at the end of Necron's turn 2. And we're back at the end of Necron's turn 2. The Scarabs have all pushed forward and gone into close combat. They absolutely shredded one Vanguard veteran here, bringing him down, exploding his jump pack, and he just vaporized. And then over here, these guys failed to do any damage. The armor save just holding out. And same story over here, taking 1 wound for their trouble and 2 wounds for their trouble there. Other than that, one Scarab base has ran over here, attempting to get within 3 inches of this objective, just out at the moment. And if it continues as is, the Ravens could actually lose. But let's not count them out yet. They still have 2 Vanguard veterans in the backfield that they can pull in from reserve. So let's see what happens on Ravens turn 3. And we're back at the end of Raven Guard turn 3. So the Ravens have pushed forward again. This scout claimed that objective, allowing the Vanguard veteran to leap forward into combat and killing 1 base. Over here, the biker pulled back, claiming that objective again, releasing the Vanguard veteran to charge in with his power sword, killing another base. And the combats are still ongoing. Thankfully the Scarabs are fearless, and this scout have actually managed to claim this objective as well. So the Heavy Bolter also attempted to kill this Scarab here, stopping him claiming this objective. That would have been crucial for the Raven Guard if they managed to stop him getting to this, as that would have mean I'd have had to breed another Scarab and run it all the way over here, giving them the turn they need. So as it stands at the moment, we are still drawing, and everything is based on the combat there and here. If this combat fails, then we have pretty much given up this objective. Therefore, we will definitely need this objective to prevent the Ravens from actually winning. So we will now move on to the Necrons turn 3. And we're back after the Necron's turn. So at the start of the turn, we bred another Scarab. It's holding that objective, and we pushed forward with the Spider, attempting to charge and failed, taking no wounds in Overwatch. He's just too tough. Over on the left flank for the Necrons, we again lost another wound on the Scarab base and caused none back. This guy has moved and hid in the bush to stop himself getting roasted by a Heavy Bolter. On the right flank, we have lost another Scarab base and did nothing in return. But the main part of this game is right here. These 2 Scarabs were free, pushed in and killed the veteran biker, taking him off that backfield objective. So now the Necrons are holding a Raven backfield objective, this objective here and this one here. So all they need to do is mop up one of these 2 combats to win the game. And going on for the Raven Guard and Raptors, all they essentially need to do is just kill that combat there and run back to that objective, or something over here. I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. It's looking a bit tense for the Raven Guard now. So we'll be right back at the end of the Raven Guard turn 4. And we're back at the end of Ravens turn 4. They're doing very well. So the Heavy Bolter managed to get a good line of sight on the Scarab at the back and blew him off that objective, taking the Necrons down to 2. These Vanguard veterans on the right flank managed to mop up the last 2 remaining Scarab bases and then consolidated forward 2 inches. That Scarab is going to get mighty scared. And then over here, we had another slapfest. Nothing happened. Scarabs just can't wound Marines. Well, they can wound them, but the armor save is so powerful it's unreal. So that marks the end of the Raven. Oh, there's a dice box. Guard turn 4, and we'll now move on to the Necrons turn 4. Let's see if they can pull this back, because it's not looking very good. And we're back at the end of Necron's turn 4. So the Spider bred another Scarab and plopped it on the objective, so we managed to reclaim, and we've got objective here, there, over on the backfield, and then we made a heroic charge into that Marine, but he made his 4+ save, meaning that the Scarab didn't manage to get the clutch victory just there. And in other news, on the right flank we have lost another base, and one is down to 1 wound, and over here nothing to report, and we're still hiding with that Scarab base there. So this is the end of turn 4. We will be continuing on again because we don't particularly want to stalemate, because that's a Necron victory, isn't it? Because that means you don't discover at all, doesn't it? So we kind of want a if or a don't or a do. So we will continue to turn 5, and if we don't have a victory at the end of turn 5, then we will call it a Necron victory due to the fact that they've managed to delay the Ravens from collecting their data. So we'll be right back. Right, and we're back at the end of the Ravens' turn 5.
Yeah, so, we kicked some butt.
Yeah, you finally managed to mop up that, and they're consolidating. And they've got claimed the objective for the power sword. The other guy's pulling back. This guy managed to make it round and kill that Scarab base convincingly and claim the objective. The heavy bolter attempted to kill this Scarab and failed, and the spider mopped up in the centre. So this is now Necron's turn 5. And it's literally down to the last wire. So we're going to keep the camera rolling for this one because it's going to be a good one. So first things first, if I can grab some dice, this spider is going to move 6 inches around here, like so. And then it will breed a Scarab, and we get a wound taken off us. So we're now down to 2 wounds, but we do breed. So sorry for the camera angles, and we'll pop it just there. And now what we'll do is onto combats. So if this Scarab manages manages to beat this Marine in combat and consolidate onto the objective, and that Scarab over there managed to kill that Marine, the Necrons win. However, if that Marine over there manages to kill that Scarab, the Raven Guard could potentially win, but obviously it would mean that Necron unit would fail the charge there. So let's see what happens then, shall we? So first things first, we need 2 dice to charge into close combat, but we do have a bit of Overwatch to deal with. So, Georgie, do you want to roll it up? 2 dice, 6s to hit. Oh, get 1 hit. And it's 5s and 6s, no, 6s to wound, sorry. No wound. So, charge distance, need a 3. Yep, make it on a 10. So that will crash into that there. So now, Georgie, you can have 1 attack with him, because you strike first, and you need a 4. Nope. So the spider is going to attack, needing 4s to hit. So 3, and now only 2s to kill the model. So yeah, so there goes that Raven Guard miniature. He's down. He fought valiantly, but ultimately perished. And now the main fight over there. So far with that little victory there, the Necrons are now on 3 objectives to the Raven Guard's 3. But if we win that combat, so Georgie, you have your 1 attack with your scout. You hit on a no, you hit on a 3. Yep, so you hit. 3s to wound, because they're T3. You don't wound. Now, the Scarab will fight back with 4 attacks however, needing 4s to hit, and you get 1, needing 5s and 6s to wound. Get the wound. Now 4+ save, and it dies. So the Necrons managed to pull it back at the end of turn 5, pulling out the victory. Literally what scuppered it for the Ravens at the end of that turn was that Vanguard Veteran model failing to make it to combat. If he had made it to combat, it would have been a Raven Guard victory. So the Necrons have held on. They have managed to capture a majority of these what were the server scores again, and preventing the Ravens from learning the location of their tomb world. So where are we going from here? where would be a logical step? So the Ravens have literally just failed to learn the location of the Tomb World, and their next step will be to actually start hindering their forces. They will need to set up scouting parties again and find out where the Necrons are actually most densest and see what they're actually doing with their objectives. And meanwhile, the Necrons will actually start building up a nice big force. So probably what will happen next will be a strike from the Necrons on a fortified position of the Raven Guard. How does that sound? Yeah, do you like the sound of that? Nice big game. So what would be the special objectives for that then? We've already had the holdout, so it won't be kind of like that. It will more likely be a traditional game with a few quirky rules in there and everything to give the Raven Guard a bit more of a feel. So maybe the Necrons can assault a city again that the Ravens actually have hold of. Or I've got a good idea. How about the camp in which all these scouts and everything have came from in this swamp terrain is assaulted by the Necrons' counter-advance.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the one, isn't it?
It is.
So we're going to have a little encampment then in the swamp terrain again, and the Necrons will push it.
That was. I wanted that one.
So now it'll be the Necrons trying to push you out. Yeah. Hey, you've actually thinned out their numbers. Look at all that dead pile. So then, the next game will be the Necrons pushing in with Scarabs, Canoptic Harvests, and stuff. Yep. So it'll be loads of land speeders, loads of bikes and stuff like that. So good game.
Yep, good game.
Yeah, that was enjoyable actually. I liked playing that kill team. So far this campaign, how do you feel about it? You've been enjoying it?
I think it's good fun. I think I sort of ruined it at the beginning. By keep holding these back instead of charging them pushing them forward, and putting the
scout guy at the back.
Keeping the scouts at the back.
Yeah.
My tactic.
It was actually quite balanced, wasn't it? The Scarabs could not kill the Marines. That 3+ armor save was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
So the story so far, then we've had an ambush on a Necron patrol or an advancement. We then had the Ravens fall back from that, and the Necrons pursued all the way back to their landing site, and the Raven Guard was able to hold on by the skin of their teeth through wave upon wave of endless zombie Necron warriors. They're pretty much zombies, aren't they? Yeah. And then, after managing to hold on, they sent out scouts to try and find out the location of the Necron Tomb World, and unfortunately for them, they were thwarted by the Scarabs and the Spider. So now it will be a case of the Scarabs and the Spider and a few Canoptic Wraiths and maybe a few Destroyers pushing into the Raven. It'll be actually the Raptors encampment with some Raven Guard auxiliary. So we'll have a little fortified bunker, we'll have a little wall, we could actually get maybe a tank in there and a few land speeders and some bikes.
Ooh, yeah.
So a really fast paced game for you versus the Necron Advance. So we hope you're enjoying this new series. We really enjoy playing it.
Yeah.
So tune
in next time to see me wipe the Necrons off the board.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yes.
No. So if you like what you see, guys, give us a like. If you want to see more, why not subscribe? It really helps us, give us the motivation to continue making these videos. And if you think you know someone who might enjoy this, why not give it a share? We always like the views. So, thanks very much for watching. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.